Hello and welcome to the first episode of Maker Chat, the show that aims to make you a better map maker. I'm LuPG13, and in today's episode we are going to go over a few ways you can improve your maps in Brawl Stars. How might you do that, you might be wondering? Well, with these simple yet effective tips, you can do just that. Now grab a snack and take a seat as we move on to our first tip in this video. For the first tip, we recommend focusing on the middle of the map. Make it interesting and unique. The middle of the map, or mid as it's called, is the most important part of the map after all. Mid is where all the action takes place. It's where the gems from the gem mine pop out, it's where the gas in Showdown pushes everyone, and it's also where all the shootouts take place in Bounty. If you want your map to stand out, mid has to be interesting and unique. Well, how do I make my maps mid interesting and unique, you might be asking? There are a few ways. One way you could try is by focusing on making an interesting design that is nice to play on and is also nice to look at. Think of maps like Galaxy Arena or Double Swoosh with their circular mid designs. Another thing you could try is making a mid that is for specific playstyles. A few examples would be Bridge Too Far, in which practically the entire map promotes 1v1 interactions and long-range shootouts, and Feast or Famine, which its mid is a very high-risk, high-reward area. You could also try making big structures that practically take up the entire area in mid, like on the maps Gem Bash or Bandit Cove. Of course, there are a multitude of ways you could design your mid. These are just a few examples. For the second tip, I recommend thinking up a theme to use for your map. Having a theme in mind when creating a map can help you think of how you want specific brawlers to play on that map. Keeping the theme of the map consistent throughout is also recommended, but not necessary at all. A few maps with consistent themes throughout their designs are maps like Cavern Churn, its theme being narrow corridors with a few occasional open rooms, and Excel. Do I even need to explain this one? Like I said before, sometimes having the theme be no theme at all can be a good thing. Going back to Feast or Famine, the map is all over the place. The left side and the bottom of the map are pretty tight and compact. The right side and the top of the map are fairly open and lacking a ton of walls. The bottom left corner is full of grass and cacti. Mid is practically covered in grass, and you know what? It works. Everything flows very well, especially when you consider everyone spawns in mid and has a choice to leave or go deeper into mid. Before we move on to the last few tips, this is the part of the video where I kindly ask you to like and share the video, as well as subscribe for future tips and tricks videos. Subscribing is free, and if you change your mind later, that's perfectly fine. Moving on to the third tip on our list, I recommend playtesting your map and getting feedback as much as possible. Playtesting your map can help you get a good feel of what's good and what should be tweaked. Playing with bots isn't ideal, but they can work, especially if you're testing a Showdown map. If you can though, I highly recommend inviting other people to play your map and ask them for feedback. More often than not, other players will be able to notice minor design flaws that you might have overlooked. Having real players play your map also helps you discover which brawlers would be good on that map. I suggest collecting feedback from more than one or two people. That way you have a lot of variety and diversity when it comes to recommendations on changes for your map. You shouldn't change everything they recommend though, but you should at least consider it. For the last tip in this video, I recommend joining map sharing communities. Joining a map sharing community like r/Brawl Maps, the Brawlcraft Discord server, or even this channel's Discord server can really help you get feedback on your map. Joining one will also expose you to a diverse pool of maps that could potentially inspire your future map. Some of these communities even host friendly map making contests to help inspire map ideas and hone your map making skills. Sometimes the Brawlcraft Discord even hosts official contests that'll get your map to appear in rank. Now that we are finished going over these tips, I'm going to create a map using the methods I mentioned previously in this video. Okay, so for this map I'm making, I thought I would try to make a big structure in mid. I think it could work, but we're gonna have to see. For this map, I'm only gonna use 2 zones because 1 zone is kinda boring and 3 zones, I suck at making 3-zone map. I know it looks like I'm just placing a bunch of grass in the middle and calling it a day, but actually no, that's exactly what I'm doing because I couldn't come up with a concept for mid. I was thinking about adding some water to the map, but I had no idea where to put it. I'll be honest with you, at this point I was struggling to come up with a theme for the map, so I ended up just putting a bunch of bush on the sides of the map. I played a match with bots to get a minor feel of the map, and mid played exactly how I thought it would, for better or for worse. So I got off to get some feedback from the Brawlcraft Discord server, but I guess I picked a bad time because only 1 person replied. Thank you Gladiator19 for giving me feedback and telling me I should probably decorate the left corner. So these 2 crates that I'm putting in the corner are for you. I'm sure if more people were on, they would have told me to remove the side bush, which honestly I probably should have done that. As an example map, this map probably wasn't the best, but it also wasn't the worst. Honestly, it's one of my better hot zone maps, so that's a plus for me. Now that I look at it, mid kinda reminds me of Hot Potatoes mid, very loosely. The theme of the map could definitely be way better though. Nonetheless, it's still a very playable map. Yeah, it might be pretty barren, but it still has nice gameplay. And with that comes the end of our first ever episode of Maker Chat. I would like to give a huge thanks to Ellisimo for helping me approve these tips, and I would also like to thank Codex Brawl Stars for proofreading the script. If it wasn't for them, this video would not be possible, that's for sure. If you have any ideas for improving this series, or you have topics you want me to go over, such as map making for specific game modes or for specific brawler types, let me know in the comments below. Until next time folks, see ya!